to think of themselves as strong, especially as females, and to think of themselves as having a voice. And my role and goal as a coach, a collegiate coach of females, was to have them emerge with a voice, whatever race they were. It's my job. 1972, I don't know if you remember there, Chief Justice, but 1972 with Title IX, you know, it was a law. There are laws that are passed that affect lives greatly, and in some way, shape, or form, I think we have to look at the justice system and how we mete out justice and what that really means. And when Kevin told me that the Chief Justice was going to be on, I just thought, look, what about restorative justice? What about this idea of creating a new way of thinking through justice? And you know, I wrote these books. One is using words and spirituality, like using words in a greater way of creating this new way of thinking in sport. But it can be in education. It can be in any way, shape, or form, creating this us versus them. But competition literally means to work with. As we compete, we make each other better. And if we don't, if we do this, if we do us versus them, the only way somebody wins is to knock somebody out. That's what we've been doing. And so here in society, working with, and I'm working with everyone in the city to try and make everyone in the city achieve. It's not an us versus them. My job as a commissioner now is to coach and teach at a community level rather than an institutional level. And I feel blessed to be able to represent Kalamazoo, because we are having the hard conversations in several different places. And we do have the Kalamazoo Promise, and we do have wonderful institutions of higher learning. We have great public schools, and I think education is a key. So I think it all fits together. And Kevin, I really, really appreciate you. And Todd, I appreciate you for facilitating and for rounding out this panel. So I'm humbled, I'm grateful, and I look forward to future conversations. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach S. I look forward to Amazon coming to my doorstep with those books. We're gonna talk more. Appreciate you being involved with us tonight. Orlando James.
It's been a pleasure being on with everybody. I think the most important takeaway is, you know, I kept hearing Vaughn say that things are broken and some things have to be changed. It's not good enough for us to just say, well, this is how we've always done school. This is how we've always done justice. As the Chief Justice has said, things are going to have to be changed, because the biggest thing that's going to have to be taken away is everybody has to find a way for their voice or for their experiences to matter. And that's going to be important if we're going to try to reach a point of equity, because as a point of equity, I can't feel like I can't share my experiences with you, because you're going to say, well, oh, he may be playing the race card, or he may be doing this. We all have to feel comfortable enough to share those experiences so that we can all learn that everybody's going to have different experiences. Our fundamental principles for somebody running to be the commissioner, somebody working in schools, somebody doing all of these things, a doctor, a lawyer, everybody has different things that they're going to care about. But we all have to understand that there's going to be different things we all have to care about in order for us to make it and live together here, where we really don't have much of a choice to be together with. Earth is not going anywhere. So I appreciate everybody's time, and I really appreciated hearing everybody's points of views. And I can't speak for everybody, but Coach, if you need me for anything, you already know to call me. So thank you very much.
Always my guy, Orlando. Wonderful to have your viewpoint tonight. Special. Mr. Washington, what do you think?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Once again, thank you to everyone. You know, this thought of reaching for understanding, and where people are feeling right now is they spend a lot of time in their homes. Some people are in even greater isolation than others because they don't have the ability to reach out to individuals, and or they don't have the opportunity to get out and go somewhere based upon what's happening and the threat of the virus and how it's impacting people across the nation and how people are responding to it is something that's just an unknown to everybody. But I think this thought to seek to understand, I think it's important for all of us. So everybody on the screen, everybody within the sound of our voice, just understanding you and how you fit into it. There's no automatic for anybody. There's no automatic that because I come from this walk of life or because I'm a person of color that I have some kind of complete understanding that no one just ain't listening to. I have to understand myself as well. As Orlando mentioned, coming together, showing kindness, giving grace is the place to start. And then we seek for understanding. And I'm going to do a lot of work. I've been doing a lot of work on my own self. And I think that if we continue to do that as well, it's an important thing. So Commissioner Hess, you asked one time, what can somebody do? And I said, well, if you want to do something, support your public schools. I think the next thing you can do alongside of that is understand who you are before you even set foot in a public school, because what you're going to see in a public school may not be what you experienced when you were there and or what you think is appropriate now. But those individuals that are working in the schools know each and every day what they're seeing and what it takes to be in and run a school. So I think those are two things: working on yourself and seeking understanding, and then also supporting your school system. Kevin, good stuff, man. Kevin and I sold shoes together at MC Sporting Goods when I first met him. I was fresh out of Colorado and Mexico, came to town. Kevin took me in, helped me understand how to sell a pair of Jordans like nobody else. And so that's a special thing. Kevin, you've come a long way in your journey. We could have done this the entire night, understanding your journey. For anybody who knows you that's on this call can attest to the fact that you have seen a number of things in your life that many others have not seen, and you still continue to want to do and help others move past that. So this is a testament to you and your resilience. And I appreciate you for that. It's not always easy, and sometimes it's rough around the edges, but you continue to push forward, and we're here because of that. And Todd, thank you for moderating the conversation.
Appreciate you, Mr. Washington. Of all the things that you've seen and done in education, I would say to be on this call and have a man in Raleigh be a part of this and acknowledge your role in his life and his child's life, that's got to be a proud moment. And I think you've had a lot of those. Appreciate you. Chief Justice, what an absolute honor to have you spend a couple of hours with us, speaking profound words and listening. Wonder if you could encapsulate some thoughts, and then we'll pass it to my guy, Kevin.
Yeah, I hope I did more listening than speaking, because I was right that I had a lot more to learn than I had to teach. I feel grateful to Kevin for introducing me to some pretty outstanding Michiganders, and I feel proud to know each of you. Thank you, Orlando. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you, Jean, and thank you, Todd. I feel grateful to have been included in this conversation. And really grateful about the work that each of you is doing to try and put me out of a job. I am all for it and rooting for you. If you could do it, in the next couple of years while I'm still young enough to, get out on my bike and, enjoy my I would appreciate that. I'm getting older by the minute here. So, but I do think what you all are doing in education is upstream from what I'm doing in the justice system, and so you have my eternal gratitude for the work you're up to. I do think that what trial judges do in courtrooms has the ability to impact individuals, families, communities in a tremendous way. If a trial judge can truly listen the way I feel like a lot of people have been doing here tonight, to what is happening to somebody who appears before him or her, who may well be somewhat broken at that moment. They have an opportunity to have a tremendous impact on changing the course of someone's life. In a free society, some are guilty, but all are responsible. I am full of gratitude for to all of you for taking that responsibility to heart, and for including me tonight. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you guys. You know, when I first started, let me start with Corn. Corn was my captain, I think my first year at Norris, right after I left Todd at First Assembly. So, you know, all these people that have been here are extremely close and important in my life, and not necessarily, and pretty much my story. I mean, these are a lot of people that have been in my life a long time, seen me do a lot of ridiculous things, but the testament is that we can have a conversation so diverse and actually beneficial. And that I couldn't do that without the participation and trust of you guys. So that was something I just couldn't believe that you guys all fell for that trick. But I greatly appreciate it. You know, Chief Justice, although, you know, I think that you do. I think that what I respect about you is not only as your job, what you do. I think that you do a good job at your job, but as an individual, as a person, is much more impressive to me. Yeah, you're a great leader. So we couldn't ask for much more than that. Orlando, I thank you very much for coming. I greatly appreciate it, Todd. Geez, you know, I know that this was kind of rocky for you. I knew that it was going to be, but I'm glad that, you know, you trusted in the process. That's all. I think that the more important part is that, you know, we can sit down and we can all have a conversation about the future, and it doesn't have to be negative, and it doesn't have to fight, and you know, we can come up with great solutions as to how to do better. Ron, you know, I love you. Mr. Morton, great. You know, I thank you guys so much. I could not, definitely had done this by myself. It would have been much more boring anyway if I did it by myself, that's for sure. Maybe I would have fought more with myself, but anyway, I thank you guys very much.
A couple of housekeeping items before we go. Obviously, I have your email. You got the link to this. I did BCC, so nothing is going to happen with your emails unless you want it to. So if there's someone in particular that you wanted to contact and follow up with, you have my email, and I can direct it that way. I want to leave you with a couple things. The Chief Justice mentioned Michigander, a great Michigander and the world's greatest living philosopher, poet, Stevie Wonder, said, "Teachers keep on teaching, people keep on learning." What a great night. A lot of teachers here that kept on teaching, but a lot of people keep on learning. We didn't cure our world tonight, but we started an opportunity to keep on learning. And then one last little personal thing, something that's not in our notes. I want to echo what your friend Vaughn said. In the late 80s, early 90s, Kevin was on our team, which was weird because I was 2 years old. I'm such a young guy. But your mother, a community activist in Kalamazoo,